and there should be a light. Yeah, when it's red, it's recording.
Okay.
Oh!
Marker.
Alright, we're doing a low light tutorial. Can't see anything. On Erin. I've done a tutorial on her before, and so I'll put right here her tutorial. But we're doing a full head of low lights and then a tiny bit of a face framing pop. So for her low lights, I'm going to do 7N, 7G equal parts of Shades of Q with processing solution. Sorry if the lighting's iffy. Will you give me another 7G? And I've got the crew with me today. We've got Abby, Sheena, and Gwen. So if you see them in the video, say hi. And follow them on Instagram. Everything will be linked below. Okay, I need a processing.
You want the gel one or the liquid one?
I don't care. Slid her right in there.
The bartender.
This is what I see right now. All right.
Staring at him.
Alright, I'll get into it. I'm going to do a voiceover for just like parts of it because it is pretty repetitive. So I'm just going to explain what I'm doing here, and it's pretty much the same thing all over the head except for around the hairline, so I'll come back on and tell you then. But I'm just taking that low light formula and essentially doing a bunch of highlights or weaves all over. They're not highlights, they're low lights. I don't know why I said highlights. But I'm just doing a bunch of low light weaves all over her head. She usually does like a teasy light blonde. A couple times we've done like full highlights, depends on her mood, but she's feeling the more like lived in, low lighty blonde look. So that's what we are doing. So I'm just doing 4 quadrants and going horizontal up all 4 quadrants, leaving her face frame out because I'm going to do some highlights around that, but taking the low light all the way through. In the back specifically, I leave out a couple ends around the front just to connect her face frame, but in the back, all of it is, the whole low light is all the way through the ends. So just keep watching and you'll see me work. So we are doing a little bit of a face frame highlight. I like to do this even if I'm doing a full head of lowlights because you don't want to see that demarcation line, that grow out line around their face especially. I am going to go in and tone this like a little bit softer than like a bright blonde, but if you just leave the highlights grown out like that, you're going to see that line of demarcation and it's going to feel like they didn't get their hair fully done, and then it's going to feel grown out even faster because one, they have a full head of lowlights so they feel darker and more grown out, but two, you don't finish that face frame and it just feels like the color's unfinished. So I do 2 back-to-back just normal weaves. I don't do necessarily baby lights, but I don't do anything too big and chunky just for now. I think I did 2 back-to-back. We'll see here in a second if I take it up. The anticipation, it's coming. Am I going to tease or am I just gonna put it up to the root? And it's going up to the root. Okay, so I did 3 so far. Anyway, I just do this and later I'm going to tone. You can customize how many you're going to do. So you can do 1, 2, 3, whatever you want. Like if they want a bigger face frame, do more. If they want really subtle and just a really lived in look, just do 1 or 2. Like a lot of the times what I'll do is like 2 back-to-back foils and then I will tease 2 right behind it just so it blends into like the rooty look. But here I guess I'm just doing a bunch of back-to-back highlights and we'll end up rooting these highlights in the bowl. I do also angle my roots, so I will just barely tap the front and then I will bring the root shadow down a little bit more each section I go back just so it starts to blend in with the root. So I left that last highlight out there just to start that blend, using the demarcation line to my advantage actually. And then in between I'm going to weave and I'm just going to tap that demarcation line just to make sure that that face frame is super blended. A lot of the times when you are doing a full highlight or you have a really harsh demarcation line, if you don't go in and do like this detailed work and just do like highlights or something, it's not going to be as blended. So yeah, just keep watching. This is kind of how I did my face frame. Again, like I'm watching with you. I didn't really remember how I did this because I did this tutorial, well, I filmed it a while ago. So you and I are pretty much watching me work as I go. But this is the face frame and then I will see you once I start toning. so if you didn't catch what Sheena and Abby mixed up, her root tap and face frame tap is 7 and 8 equal parts from Colorants with 10 volume. They have like a processing lotion. I think it's really watery, so I use 10 volume. You do you. So I'm just tapping around her hairline. I will go horizontal or vertical like this. I don't really have any rhyme or reason, just kind of do what I do in the moment. Either way is fine. And then her all over gloss was 10N Shades EQ with processing solution. I didn't want anything cool or warm. I just wanted pretty neutral. Her hair is like, her ends are obviously highlighted, and so they do soak up a lot of the color. So this will appear a little bit cooler toned than warmer toned, and honestly Shades EQ runs cooler than warmer, so just keep that in mind if you are using that. If their hair is more porous, you might want to put in some G or GI or whatever, or if their hair is really yellow, you might want to add a little V or NA depending on what you like. I find that N can be really neutral and a touch on the cooler side if I am putting it on like a porous blonde. Her hair is really healthy and shiny, and like she takes really good care of it, but still like her hair is really fine, and so highlighting it's just automatically going to lift it and make it porous. So that's just the dealio. Also, I leave my toners on for just a couple minutes. I honestly just watch it. On my brighter blondes, it's really not on there for very long because I'm just looking for that shift in the lift, because I do like to lift them to a good color anyway. So yeah, her like all over gloss was on for maybe 1 minute. And here is her end result. So beautiful, so seamless. Those highlights are shining through, the lowlights are creating that dimension. Her face frame is fresh but not too bright, and we are just really, really obsessed with it. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!